Hi. How do you bounce back from a serious illness or condition? I know it's tough, and I often get asked this because I've had some major traumas in my life. So I just wanted to share some of the strategies I use when I get knocked down. But I'd also love to hear what your strategies are, what you've used to help you get through some major challenges in your life and conditions or trauma or illnesses, where you get knocked down and you have to pull yourself back up again. So my story is one of the many times I've been knocked down. Life is a funny way of doing that, doesn't it? I was a paramedic and I woke up one morning and my left wrist was really sore and it was swollen and inflamed. And I thought, I must have sprained it somehow. So I just wrapped it and went about my day. And as the day progressed and the days progressed, that sore wrist expanded and grew and grew and grew, and to the point where every single joint in my body was swollen, inflamed, red, and excruciatingly painful. I suppose you could use it analogy as like rheumatoid arthritis on steroids. So bad. And it just grew in my body, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't know if I'd been bitten by something. I went to all the doctors in our medical profession. No one could tell me what was wrong or how to fix it. All they could do was just give me a pill, and I'm really not a person to take a lot of pills, each to their own, because I knew that wasn't fixing the underlying issue. It would mask and help with the symptoms of the pain, but it wouldn't fix the real problem, the core issue, which at this point, no one knew what was going on. And I even remember going and doing an MRI, which is like a full body scan. And every single joint in my body, even my brain, lit up like a Christmas tree. And no one knew what was wrong with me. I'd been to all the specialists. So here I am laying in bed. I couldn't work for 6 months. I was in a wheelchair for 6 months. I just separated from my husband. I still had 2 children that I was supporting. I couldn't work. I couldn't even drive a manual car. We had a manual car to go and do the shopping, to get shopping for the kids. Every time, just laying in bed, rolling over in bed, was excruciatingly painful. And it was a tough time because, 1, I didn't know what was wrong with me, and 2, I didn't know how long I was going to be there and be like this. Am I going to be like this for the rest of my life? I didn't know how I was going to support my children. So it was a tough time. So if you've ever been through any major trauma, major illness or condition, I feel you, because it's really tough. And here I am laying in bed, and what I do is I try to look at the positives of anything that's going on. Even if we're in the hole and we feel like it's our worst nightmare, I know there has to be a positive somewhere in this. So I had nothing else to do but lay in bed in pain. So I started working on my mind. I thought, okay, the medical system can't help me. I have to help myself. I have to get through this, and I have to do whatever I need to do. 1, because of my children. I think that was the driving force for me, because I had to look after my children. I didn't want them to have to look after me. So that was one of the driving forces. And the other one was, I thought, I don't want to be like this for the rest of my life, in pain, in a wheelchair. So I started working on my mind and my emotional state, because I knew instinctively, I knew that that's where it started. When we can change our mental and emotional situation or our mindset, that automatically changes our physical situation. So all I could do was work on that. And I thought, okay, what are the positives in this? And it's really hard to do when you're in the hole. Believe me, I know what you're going through. But I just kept working on my mind every day. What are the positives? What are the positives? What are the positives? Because everything has a positive and negative. That's life. We may not be able to see the positives at the time when we're going through this shit that we're in, but they're there. We've just got to take off the blinkers and change our mind. So I kept asking myself, what's the positives in this? What's the positives? What's the positives in this? And eventually I did come up with some positives. I came up with the fact that this is an opportunity for me to make some changes in my life. I wasn't enjoying my job as a paramedic. It was so stressful. So this was an opportunity to think, okay, I need to make some changes. What changes can I make? And so I thought, okay, I'm going to change my situation with my job. I'm going to change my job. And then I thought, what health things can I do? This is a good opportunity for change my diet. And I couldn't exercise at the time, but my diet, my mind. Okay, keep thinking of the positives, thinking of the positives. And it took some time, but eventually I was able to be thankful for this situation. Now, don't get me wrong. It took a long time. I'm not going to lie to you. It wasn't easy. But over time when we can condition our brain or retrain our brain to think either in a positive state or a negative state. And so I just kept training my brain, kept thinking, what's the positives? What can I do in this situation? I was thinking about what I can do, not what I can't do. So that really helped me as well. And I was thinking about what else I could do just little by little, and just getting up and having a shower, or just little things that I know was painful, but I thought, well, I'm in pain laying in bed. I might as well be in pain getting up. And then a friend of mine said to me, you need to be doing weight training. And this was counterintuitive to, you know, what you think when you're in pain, you stop moving, but that's the worst thing you can do. So he said to me, you need to do weight training. And there's reasons for that as well, because it helps with the blood flow to the joints and the muscles, and that blood flow helps repair. So all this inflammation and pain that I was in, I just had to work through it. And eventually I got to a point where I was doing weight training, I was working on my mind, and I started to basically recover. Slowly. And I even remember vividly to this day, I went to a Tony Robbins motivational seminar. I don't know if you've ever been to one, you know, where they walk across the coals, the fire walk. And I actually walked across the coals, the hot coals, on crutches. And that showed me the power of the mind. And I didn't get burnt. And I thought, I'm going to get through this. I can get through this. So that's what strategies I use all the time now. And I'd love to know what strategies you use. And eventually I went back to work. I recovered fully, and I don't have any deficits or any recurring issues. And to me, it was a miracle. I prayed as well. So that's some of the strategies I use. I'd love to hear what strategies you use when you're going through some major challenges in your life. Take care. Bye.